And we're back. Oh boy. I'm looking at the first game and I don't want to talk about it. Let's
I have
just
a
start.
feeling I know what you're talking about.
Start in Baltimore. I mean, this could be real quick.
This will be insanely
The
quick.
Ravens win 10-9. James Prochet threw an interception.
Oh,
That's all
I
I
thought you were gonna just be like, and we're to wherever the next game was.
No, that's all I had to say. That was they had a trick play and James Prochet, the wide receiver, threw in the quadruple coverage and threw a pick.
Solid.
The Ravens are 8-4, by the way, and the Broncos are 3-9. Now, would you like to go talk about your game and let me get on my absolute wild ride of a story?
Yeah, for sure. If you got a good story, let's hear it.
All right. Well, Washington and the Giants, they tie.
I
Uh,
basically kissed Jackson Edelman on the lips with this game. We just
yeah, 20 to
looked at
20, 7-5-1 for Washington, 7-4-1. Honestly, probably the best case scenario for both teams playoff. Obviously not best case scenario, but it actually helps them instead of taking a loss.
yeah, no. I mean I hate that to say it, but obviously when Graham Gano lined up for the game winning kick in overtime, I'm obviously happy with the tie outcome, even though we went up 10-0 early and end up on a 20-10 split the rest of the game. So that definitely sucked. But yeah, you got it, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, I had a bet. Um, and I ended up winning $113, but I think it was about 270, 280 in a parlay, and it involved the Bills winning, the Ravens winning, the Seahawks winning, the Lions and Jags hitting the over, and the Giants
Uh-huh,
winning.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Oh, and the
Uh
Giants push. Now I still got money out of it, but man, they fucking blew this game. And then how do you come up short? It was 55 yards, wasn't it?
for some reason 58 is the number coming to mind.
Yeah, it might be that, but
I can
still, like,
figure it out. I know it's under 60, which usually you don't see under 60 yarders coming up short very often.
yeah. I just I just didn't like how they played all game. When I was watching it, they were just making me so you know how it is. Like, first of all, I had a bet on them. And second of all, I had recently acquired Saquon Barkley. So when you
Yeah.
do that, like I'm just saying, like, think of a player you acquired this year and you weren't paying any attention to that team, and then you start paying attention to him.
Yeah.
So I finally started paying attention to the Giants, and I was like, this team, how are they winning games? They just annoy the hell out of me how they operate.
Their defense has been pretty solid this year as well. That's kind of a key contributor to keeping their offense in games. But from fantasy side, Terry McLaurin had a great day. Taylor
Yeah.
Heineke, who continues to get started in our league, had a great day. Um,
Jahan Dotson.
Brian, yeah, Jahan Dotson. I think he had let's see. Jahan Dotson had nine
554 and a
targets,
touchdown. Yeah.
554 and a touchdown. Curtis Samuel even got involved with Taylor Heineke. That's like the first time they've connected. Brian Robinson killed it on the carries like department. Antonio Gibson only had 9. Brian Robinson had 21 for 96. I mean, that's a good day. If he finds the end zone, that's a great day. Um, even had 2 catches for 15 yards. Uh, that's really it. And then on the Giants, there's really nothing to mention. I mean, Daniel Jones ran the ball 12 times for 71 yards. So for anybody who streamed him, they were probably decently happy at least. Saquon Barkley, 18 for 63 and a touchdown with 5 catches and 18 yards. Happy there. Darius Slayton also caught a 55-yard bomb. Wasn't a touchdown, but he had a
Hmm.
decent day as well. And then you mentioned Hodgins was in the irrelevant touchdowns of the week.
Daniel Bellinger. Good to see him back playing football.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy that he was back at
Wearing a
all
visor.
after. Yeah, but smart after that. But to get 5 catches on 5 targets, 24 yards, I mean, pretty sweet. Yeah, you never know. Might
Yeah.
might find his way on my roster with my recent tight end struggles. Matthew Stafford is deceased.
Yeah. Spinal. Spinal something. All right. In Atlanta, the Steelers win 19-16. They're 5-7. Atlanta's 5-8.
It's another poop show. We
Yeah,
can just
this I
we can just
mean
fart in the wind. It's another fart in the wind.
I, I mean, is the NFC South that, like, because the Falcons look pretty competitive when they play within their division, but I mean the Steelers, do you think the Steelers are good?
No, I definitely don't think they're
They
good. I
they
mean,
play a lot better when they
they're
have TJ
scrappy,
Watt,
extra
but
sloppy.
I mean they play a lot better when they have TJ Watt, but I mean I know it's 1916, but I don't think the Falcons led. This was terrible. This is a terrible game.
Well,
I
I don't
mean,
think TJ Watt. Oh, he did finish with 3 tackles, but for a long time he had zero
yeah,
tackles.
but I think just everything around it kind of Minka had a pick. I mean, those are the two guys that kind of make the defense run, but it starts with
Yeah.
Watt. But
Also, would you
look at
count
this
this is a
backfield.
this is a debate about TJ Watt me and Andy had. It was a quick one. But
Oh,
is TJ Watt a linebacker? Or is he an outside linebacker or defensive
yes.
end? On
He's an outside
ESPN,
linebacker.
thank you. Okay, thank you. On ESPN Fantasy, it says defensive end, and I told Andy multiple times he's an outside linebacker. He's an outside linebacker. But when I do look on the ESPN, like just the total ESPN app, they list
Yeah, I
TJ
think they
Watt as
do
a
that.
linebacker. So, but on the
He is a
ESPN
linebacker.
fantasy, he's listed as a defensive end. On the ESPN app, like with all the scores and stuff of all different sports, they list TJ Watt as a linebacker. So I'm curious. I was pretty stern
Yeah.
telling him that he's an outside linebacker.
I think it kind of all
And then
depends.
shout out Nolan Titano came out of nowhere and backed up Andy and said he was defensive end. And I just gave up after that. But
Hey,
he's an outside
stick it,
linebacker.
Nolan. Yeah, I mean, you should have asked Nolan, my Nolan. He's a big Pittsburgh fan. He would have known. Nolan
Oh,
Sawatsky.
yes, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think ESPN designs it that way because it depends on what formation you run. But I mean, he is an outside linebacker, but I would say 98% of the plays he's rushing the quarterback.
Yeah, for
But that's
sure.
just because I think the Steelers might have a
Which
formation where it's three
that's
defensive. I don't know what it's. Is it a 3-4, 4-3? I don't know which one comes first. I never played football,
four
Joe.
three. What they do, it's just two defensive tackles, two on the outside. But that's what Micah Parsons does too.
Yeah,
Micah
he's a
Parsons is a
linebacker.
linebacker, but he
Yeah.
rushes the passer all the time. All
Is he
right.
a linebacker in fantasy?
Thank you. It's a good question. I'll go
This is a
figure out.
real. This is way more interesting than
This
the
game
Falcons and
stunk.
Steelers
This
game.
game stunk
Yeah,
though. Deontay Johnson, 11 targets. Pat Fryermuth,
he had a big old run.
yeah, he did. He had a big catch and run.
Drake London 6 for 95.
Yes, that is the one thing to highlight on the Atlanta side.
Marcus Mariota
Um,
sucks.
yeah, and I don't really want to talk about this game anymore, but I will figure out what Micah Parsons is for us real quick.
All right, while you're doing that, I'll go to Chicago.
Micah Parsons actually has both. It says LB, comma DE. He's an
Madness.
outside linebacker.
Someone's got to figure this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Chicago, they're still owned by Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
28-19, Green Bay wins. They're 5-8. Chicago's 3-10. I got to pull something up for you because Chicago's picking second in this draft coming up. But I have to tell you the other ones in a second. But Justin Fields, 2 picks, but obviously the big run for a touchdown helps it. He looked
Yep.
good. 20-25, pretty good completion percentage. The only problem is,
He doesn't have
of
wide
those
receivers
five,
though.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Equiminius St. Brown was his number one.
Yeah. Chase
Yeah, it's
Claypool.
rough, and Claypool sucks.
Yep.
He sucks.
I was happy Alan Lazard was the leading receiver, although he didn't get in the end zone. Christian Watson does that every single time. But Alan Lazard to get more involved because in one of my leagues, I did trade for him, and it's been the last 4 weeks of kind of disappointment. So not that he had a great day, but it was good to see. Aaron Jones got injured for a little bit, but came back into the game. So we didn't mention that, but at the same time, he came back in and was getting work. So
AJ
I think he
Dillon,
could be okay.
AJ Dillon these last 2 weeks has relearned how to play football.
Yep.
18 for 93. The
Mhm.
touchdown, I believe it was a long touchdown run too. It might have been that 21-yard run for the TD. Now, I will say, so Christian Watson, 6 targets, 3 catches. Lazard, 6 and 5. Those are the two guys I want to see out there. He only had 4 targets, no catches, but I swear I saw all 4 of them, or at least 2 or 3 of them. Too many down the field targets. You know who I'm going with?
Yep, I'm shaking my head because I'm
Randall
pissed off about
Cobb
it too. So
had
stupid. I
no
know.
business. There was like some crucial, like third downs, and it was a deep throw, and it's Randall Cobb going for it. Get off the field, Randall Cobb. You are not relevant anymore.
I'm surprised to hear the number of only 4 targets because, like you're saying, I
Didn't it
think I
seem
saw
like
every
10?
single one of them on NFL Red Zone for whatever reason. The
Yeah.
incomplete pass to Randall Cobb got put on, and I swear every time I saw it, I thought, "My God, this dude has got like 15 freaking targets on the day, 0 catches though." But yeah,
Rodgers, by the way, didn't have a very good day either.
No, and there's really nothing fantasy to crazy highlight that we haven't already brought up. David Montgomery did have a decent day.
Start of the week.
Yep. And then on the flip side, like from NFL standpoint, the only thing to bring up is an 18-point swing in the fourth quarter for the Packers. And
Bears stink.
excuse me, later on in the game is when Justin Fields was throwing the interceptions, and the game just went downhill from there for the Bears at least.
Rough stuff. Now, the next game, I labeled it the game of the week, and it certainly wasn't. But it hit the over, which did help.
I wish it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Are the Lions a better defense now?
Uh,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how to say that with any
They're
sort of
5-7. They have a
conviction.
legitimate chance of making the playoffs.
No, they
Wouldn't that be
definitely do.
awesome?
It would.
They are now 5-7 after beating Jacksonville 40-14. Jacksonville now 4-8. Yeah, I mean it wasn't good and pretty decent through the air though. Christian Kirk 6 for 104. Didn't get the touchdown. That went to Evan Ingram.
Yep.
Great.
Dude,
Yeah.
so stupid.
Remember I said no, I guess like I didn't make him a sit, but I said Christian Kirk's the guy this week. Don't buy the Zay Jones stuff. 2 for 16. And I
You know how
watched
many
him drop a
you know how many
touchdown
targets
pass.
he has? Yes, I know. Fuck.
7. He had
God,
7
that
targets.
sucks. I know. At one point he had 5 targets, 0 catches, and I was kicking and screaming in sadness
That's
because
a good movie. Not
in
the
my
end
yeah,
in
it is.
sadness,
I'll
but the
I'll take a
first
half
part.
calf. Um
Mike, I smell smoke. Nobody's smoking.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Whatever her last name is. It's a
Mrs. Dicka, it's a dirty,
I
filthy
couldn't remember
habit.
if it was his actual
Yeah, yeah.
last name in the movie or whatever. So it's a filthy, dirty habit.
I'll get rid of it, honey. Don't worry.
But
Oh, but we already talked about the Bears. We're talking about the Trevor Lawrence and CJ Beathard led Jacksonville Jaguars.
yes. Yes, the Jaguars, Travis Etienne didn't get crazy involved in the
Mm-mm.
passing game, only 3 catches. So that's kind of why his day was very limited with 13 for 54 on the ground and then not getting crazy involved in the passing game. Doesn't really leave much anything there. You already mentioned Chris Kirk, Evan Ingram, and I think Zay Jones is still a person that you can start. Obviously, he got the 7 targets, dropped a touchdown. If that goes any different, if he catches a touchdown, it's a good day. And then on the flip side, super, super happy to see DeAndre Swift get 14 carries. I know that the game script probably had some account of this, but just to see that he looked healthy because when the man touches the ball, he scores fantasy points.
I'm
Four
gonna.
four catches also. Um, good.
I was gonna pump the brakes on Zay Jones because obviously I think he's a very rosterable guy. Here's his schedule coming up: at the Titans in Week 14,
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys in Week 15, at
Titans
the
is good for
Jets,
pass catchers. Dallas, no,
at the Jets in Week
that's not
16,
not a good matchup
and then
either.
I mean I guess if you're going beyond that, he plays the Texans, but
Yeah.
like just through the fantasy thing, you know what I
Yep.
mean? That's not ideal.
Yeah, I hear you there. But like I was saying with DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams 11 for 35 and a touchdown on the ground, just gross. Um, Amon-Ra St. Brown, we've already mentioned that 11 for 114 and 2 on
Mm,
12 targets. 11 catches on
mm.
12 targets is just beautiful.
Yeah, and he got popped and left the game and came back. I think he just got
Yep.
the
And he
the
got
wind
taken
knocked
down
out
on
of
the
him.
one for what would have been his third touchdown of the day. Um,
That would have killed me.
I'm gonna say this, and I don't really think so. Would be my initial answer, but at the same time, Jameson Williams coming back next week. Amon-Ra St. Brown getting any sort of downgrade or no panic
No.
whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I think he stays. I mean, no, I think he stays there. Obviously, this is a really good game, but I still expect him here. I think if anything, it's Josh Reynolds, it's Khalif Raymond, it's DJ
Yeah,
Chark. Yeah, Amon Ra is going to be the alpha here. Yeah, I thought Jameson Williams, by the way, was active for this week, but they activated him off IR.
I
But
think
I
the
don't think
active made him. He may have been technically active for this
he did
game, but
not play.
I didn't think I heard anything that had any like inkling that he was going to be playing in this game.
They got a lot of Jay Willies on this team, huh?
Yeah, they do.
Well, with that being said, I wish that game was a little more competitive, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah,
And here's a game that really sucked. Another one, another stinker. Browns go into Houston, they win
yeah. This is
27-14.
another
Houston
quick one. This is crazy.
Houston is 1-10-1. Cleveland's 5-7. Deshaun Watson, 12 for 22, 131, a pick. He looked terrible. I mean, he looked like a guy who hadn't played football in a long time, and
Yep. I
his
don't have
throws are
much to
really
say.
bad.
Just gross all around.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about here because all 3 touchdowns scored by Cleveland were it was a fumble recovery, picked up and returned, a pick six, and then a Donovan Peoples-Jones punt return. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you get points for that.
You get the touchdown, but you don't get any yards or
Yeah, well,
anything,
that
I
makes
believe.
sense. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I mean, Amari Cooper 4 for 40. There was a couple times he was targeted and he was being hit in the shoelaces by Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson. I
I
don't know
know.
what he was.
It was
He
gross.
was doing some pull downs.
Jacoby Brissett was probably all over
He
the
got a snap.
sidelines. Yeah, he did.
He
It was
did.
a decoy though. I thought they were going to run the QB sneak, and they ended up jet sweep.
Oh
I
yeah, they did a jet
think.
sweep to Harrison Bryant. That was his only
Yeah.
stats of the day, I think. Or no, he had
Yep.
a catch, but yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
Nick
mean
Chubb.
Damian Pierce, 18 for 73.
Yeah. Nick Chubb on the basically the exact same thing, 17 for 80, but neither one of them found the end zone, and neither one of them got crazy involved in the passing game, which led to not big fantasy days. Nick Chubb, 9 carries for 56 yards, great in that stat, 2 catches, but just didn't find the end zone, so it wasn't a crazy good day.
Yeah, and while
Everybody,
we're here, let
all those
me
guys hovering right around that 10-point mark.
hmm while we're here, let me get onto this. Right now, as it stands, next year in the draft, Houston picks first.
Yep.
Chicago picks second. Third is Denver. Oh, Seattle owns that pick.
Yep.
Fourth is the Rams. Oh, Detroit owns that pick.
I mean, some
Then
of these teams, dude, are going to be
Carolina.
the process is moving.
Yeah, Carolina is fifth. Six is New Orleans, except Philadelphia owns that pick.
Dude, I mean, a lot of these teams, except for Philly, obviously Philly is on the big upswing, but even those other few teams that own other teams' picks are on an incline when they were selling players to initially go on the decline, like
Yeah.
especially with the Seattle selling Russell, not expecting this, but
Now, Denver's obviously in the worst shape just because of
oh,
everything, but
for
they
sure.
do have a first round pick because they own San Francisco's, but San Francisco is picking pretty late. Right now they're picking 25th. I don't know, that
The
might
Trey
change.
Lance.
That might change from something with Brock Purdy. We don't know how that's going to go, but it looks like they
Yeah.
will make the playoffs, but tough scene. Thought I'd get in that right now since we were just talking about the lowly Texans.
Yep.
To Minnesota, the Jets, they almost made it close, or they did make it
Yeah.
close, almost brought it back, and they kind of, I thought they had a good chance twice down at the end of the game in the goal line. They couldn't do it. Vikings hold on. They win 27-22. Minnesota's 10-2. The Jets are 7-5. And Minnesota would have clinched if Detroit lost. So that should just tell you that state of that division. But
Yep.
Kirk Cousins did not have a very good day.
No. But
And it kind of spilled over into the passing game. Justin Jefferson gets that touchdown late to save him, but 7 for 45 is not what you're looking for. And then besides
mm-mm.
that, I mean, everybody struggled. I mean, Jalen Rieger was the second with one catch, the second leading receiver.
Yeah, I was going to mention that on the Viking side, you weren't really happy. I mean, Dalvin Cook was running the ball well, got 20 carries, got a couple catches for -3 yards, though. So that definitely hurt there a little bit. But Dalvin Cook was the only guy that I was noticing throughout the game that was consistently getting it done because every time it seemed like I looked at Dalvin Cook was putting up more and more rushing yards, but just the passing game was just so weird. The Jets secondary sauce was on Justin Jefferson for most of the game, to my understanding, and it was a good little battle. But at the same time, not much going on in the passing game except for that touchdown, like you mentioned, because that really saved his day. And then on the flip side, I mean, obviously most people probably didn't start Mike White, but
Mike White threw the rock.
you're happy with everybody that you started in this game.
I guess besides Mike White.
Well, yeah, but that's why I was saying that odds
Yeah,
are
yeah,
he
yeah.
wasn't started. But
Mike
Zonovan
White picked
Knight
up the rock and threw it
for the
57 times,
I
huh?
know, Joe Flacco type line. I mean, Garrett Wilson 8 for 162 without even a touchdown. He has 8 for 162 and still put up a great day. Even Corey Davis coming back from the injury, 5 for 85.
Yeah.
Zonovan Knight also had 5 catches, which was huge. Elijah Moore had a rushing attempt and 2 catches on 6 targets. I don't really think. I mean, he had the touchdown last week, and people were murmuring his name a little bit on the waiver wire from different fantasy football uh, media podcasts and stuff. But I don't
Bam.
really think that he's, especially with Corey Davis coming back. I think Corey Davis could be a flex guy going forward as long as Mike White's under center. But you're pretty happy with any Jets player you started.
Yeah. Let's go to Philadelphia. Eagles win 35-10. They're 11-1. Tennessee 7-5. It's more the same for Tennessee. It's like if they're trailing, Derrick Henry's not going to play, and I mean,
Tannehill seems to not be able to get it done in the passing game. Like to make a comeback for this team seems very difficult.
that's what I had to say about the receiving core.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about Tennessee anymore.
Conquo 4 for 68 led the way. Traylon Burks, I thought looked pretty good. He
Yes,
only
I
had one
thought so
target,
too.
I'm seeing, but it was a 25-yard touchdown grab, and then he was done for the day. Ooh, Derrick Henry 11 for 30.
I would
Oof.
also like to mention, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hop over to Philly.
Go ahead.
My
Gardner
sit of the
Minshew
week.
played.
My sit of the week was Miles Sanders, and if he didn't get an absolute meaningless
Yeah, I
touchdown
know.
at the end of the game, 10 for 24 and two catches for 14 yards. He barely got over the 10-point mark, and that's just because of that meaningless touchdown at the end of the game.
Mm,
So that
I
definitely
know.
hurt.
Oh,
Jalen
it hurt
Hurts,
me.
Jalen
Hurt my
Hurts, the
feelings.
number one quarterback on the week. This one that hurt you as well. And then what
Yeah.
hurt me was 8 for 119 and two against his old team, AJ Brown. Just absolutely went off. He got a
It would have been
touchdown called
worse.
back for an injury, or not for an injury, for a penalty. And then the next play, they did the same thing to the other side of the field, and he scored a 50-yard touchdown.
It would have
Devontae
been worse,
Smith
Joe,
also. Why?
because I did the math. Uh, AJ Brown scored 33 points and Dalton Schultz scored like
Oh yeah, I thought of
five.
this. I guess it would have depended who he started.
Yeah. But
If he started Garrett Wilson
for
or
me it was the right decision because I got
yeah,
19 from Barkley,
yep.
25 from Garrett Wilson, and
hmm
17 from
Yeah, I
Kirk.
thought about that earlier too, and I was like, I guess it would have depended upon who he started because
Yeah.
that would have been a big difference.
Ooh.
Um, but last guy really to mention here before we hop to the next one, Devontae Smith got back involved with 8 targets, 5 for 102, and a touchdown. So that was good to see because I feel like he hasn't had a big game like that in a little while.
Was. I really like watching Geno Smith. I don't know what it is. I never really used to like him,
I
but
love
I just
watching the
yeah,
Seahawks.
yeah, the Seahawks are
I
fun
mean,
to
in
watch.
in
And they got a nice top five pick next year. They win 27-23 over the Rams, who don't have a top five pick next year.
nah, or the year after that, or probably the year after that.
And
I
the
would
year after
guess.
that. And the year
Yeah.
after that. The Seahawks are 7-5. The Rams are now 3-9. Geno cooking it up. 367,
hmm
3. The one pick. I will say John Wolford makes the offense for the Rams look a lot more presentable than
Yep.
anyone else says.
Yep. Which
Yeah, it's a
is
real mess in the backfield.
yeah.
I mean,
Are you talking about for Los Angeles?
I was talking about for Seattle.
Oh yes.
Walker.
Very worried. Very worried.
Yeah.
I
No
mean, the
boy.
craziest thing, I was getting so frustrated. The Seattle Seahawks, for some reason, have decided we're not running the ball on first down. He didn't get a carry until like the end of the first quarter on first down, and they gave him the ball, and he ran for like 30 yards or something like that. He had 3 for 36. Yeah, as long as a 30-yarder, so he had 2 for 6 yards after that. But um, were not running the ball on first down. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf both went off for
Dude,
127 and 128 yards and a touchdown
they
for each of them.
I'm not even joking. Every week we look at it, they're always within a catch. They're always within like 10 yards, and they both have a touchdown.
Well,
Someone needs
Gino
to
just
pull
goes
up
back
their
and forth.
someone needs to pull up their weekly like what are they on the season? Can we find that
I
out real
was just
quick?
gonna go find it out.
But
Yep.
but it's crazy. I'm sure there's like a discrepancy from like early in the season, but I'd say for the last 8 weeks, they are within. I mean, it's crazy.
DK Metcalf is wide receiver 15. Tyler Lockett is wide receiver 10. Um,
Yeah,
I
because
think
DK had
that's
a really
because
slow start.
Lockett, yeah, and Lockett has also been scoring touchdowns much more frequently
Yes, he
than
has.
DK. DK has 3 in his last 5, and Tyler Lockett has 5 in his last 5, and that's been definitely a boost there. Yeah, so DK Metcalf has 4 games in single digits throughout the entire season. DK Metcalf also, did he miss a game? No, he has not missed a game. He has 4 single digit
Remember, he got carted
weeks.
off and he came back the next week.
Yes. And Tyler Lockett has won 2 games in single digits. So that's the little difference there, plus the touchdowns why Tyler Lockett slightly ahead.
Crazy,
Yeah.
just crazy. Yeah, I mean, the Undertaker's back. 17 for 60 and 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers can't put
Yep.
him down.
So weird.
I have there's a 22-man roster. I have that's the big money league I'm in, and I gave Kyron Williams his walking papers earlier last week.
Understandable.
And it's just
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not looking to start anybody, even though I have been starting Higbee. Um, and I may be going forward. I'm not sure. I'm definitely gonna see what's going on in the waiver wire, but I don't want to start any Ram if I can help it. I know Cam Akers found the end zone, but 17 for 60. It's not like he had a good yards per carry throughout this game.
San Francisco, they win 33-17, but they lose their quarterback for the second time this year. They've lost their starting quarterback. They're now 8-4. Miami drops to 8-4. Tua, couple of touchdowns, one to Tyreek that really just backbreaking. After Devontae
Mm-hmm.
put me for up for sure. That Soups Tyreek Hill strikes back. Crazy. I don't even know what to talk about the running game. Jeff Wilson had a
Well,
carry for 3.
they
They don't even
barely
run the
ran the
football.
ball
Yeah,
the
it's weird.
entire game. And it's not like Tua was throwing the ball 50 plus times. He only had 33 passing attempts. They couldn't really get drives going that often.
Mm.
The 49ers defense is so freaking good. It's scary. In the last 4 or 5 games, I think it is, they're averaging probably 10 or 11 still after this 17-point game. They actually allowed that Tyreek Hill was the first second half touchdown they've allowed in the last like 5 or 6 games as well. So pretty crazy.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
obviously
Tyreek Hill
Tyreek Hill, he was the
has 9 for
offense.
146 and a
Yeah.
touchdown, and then the big Trent Sherfield catch, but no one else really did anything. And talked about Waddle, just his late catch.
Yeah. 8 for 80 in the air and a touchdown for Christian McCaffrey is what was backbreaking to me. Every
I
play, I
love it.
swear it was
I
Christian
love seeing him
McCaffrey
at the
dumped
top of the
off.
receptions and the top of the rushing for a
Yep.
team.
You're going to see that a lot, I'm sure, especially with the backup. I think they're going to be leaning on McCaffrey a lot. Debo got it
Yeah.
done. Not necessarily happy with it, but he did get to like the 12 fantasy point mark. No touchdowns though. George Kittle was a dud this week. Only 2 catches on 3 targets. We'll have to see what happens with Purdy and Kittle if they can kind of get on the same page. I think I am worried for the passing game with Purdy being the quarterback, just because I don't think it will be as efficient as Jimmy Garoppolo was, and having so many as of now startable options for fantasy, it's a little worrisome. I think. I don't know what you have to say about it, but
Yeah, I mean, it definitely affects, I think, more
I think helps
maybe those
McCaffrey.
outside, not outside options, but like kind of Kittle is really weird. I would say Kittle probably takes a hit and mainly Ayuk.
Yeah,
Debo, I kind of feel like they manufacture ways to get Debo the ball.
yeah, they definitely do.
I
He
think
had four
McCaffrey's fine
carries. Yep,
as long as Elijah Mitchell stays the hell away.
I'm loving this next game though. As
Oh,
long
you
as it's
talking
the one
about
I
the
think,
Bengals and the Chiefs?
dude, Joe Burrow, I love you so much.
He was a former lover of mine until I cast him aside. Yeah, the Bengals, they win 27-24. They've got Patty's number, huh? 3 in a row. I don't even think Burrow's ever lost to him, has he? I don't know actually. I don't know if they played his rookie year. And then
I'm not
he
sure, but I did see a stat that said Cincinnati or Kansas City has not won a game in Cincinnati since 1984. I'm pretty sure the year
Oh,
was.
we all remember
That's
that, don't you,
crazy.
Joe?
Of course.
Well, there's an even crazier one. I'm pretty sure the Jets have never beaten the Eagles ever.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
I
like
didn't
they're
know
0 and
that.
11 all time.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, so this was back and forth. Really kind of an odd day for Mahomes, just
Yeah, the
because
Travis Kelsey was odd there.
all the touchdowns were rushing. Mahomes ran for one, Pacheco ran for one. Oh, excuse me, Jerick McKinnon uh, got in through the air,
Yes.
so that
Yep.
was the one. But I mean, really, if you look at it, it was just Pacheco and McKinnon that did most of the damage. And then obviously Mahomes got in. I saw that scramble, but weird day from the Kansas City offense. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have a crazy amount of things to say back to that.
Jamar was back on the other side, looked pretty
Yeah.
good.
On the flip side, there's definitely a little more to talk about. Samaje Perine has been getting it done on in the absence of Joe Mixon. I think that's gonna go away this upcoming week, but he was a great fill-in for Diego for 2 weeks, I guess. Who knows? He might still be his flex play going forward.
Probably.
No, and Diego Jamar did lead the way with 8 targets. T. Higgins kind of took a backseat with Jamar being there. It was a strange game for T. Higgins because
Did he have a touchdown
I
get called back?
I'm not sure. I know his the touchdown he did have, he was very tightly covered in man coverage on a slant route,
Oh
and he
my God,
still
the ball
caught
just
it.
was
And
put on him.
yeah, it was put on him. He caught it. He broke through a tackle, got off another guy, and found his way into the end zone. So that really fired me up when that happened. But only 3 catches for 35 yards, a little shocking to see. But Samaje Perine was just involved in the passing game with 6 catches too. So and Tyler Boyd kind of coming out of nowhere back into relevance with Jamar Chase. It's weird. His splits with Jamar Chase, I believe, are a lot better than without. So it's very strange to see that when a third wide receiver gets involved, Tyler Boyd is a much better play.
Yeah, I
And
would like
yeah,
to shout out the one play they went for it on fourth down inside the red zone. I could have used 3 points from Evan McPherson, but not only they go for it, but they went to that guy Trent Irwin
yep.
or Trenton Irwin. They a little, I think it was a jet sweep, and he got tackled
Oh
instantly.
yes,
I
yes, I
was
know what
like,
you're talking about.
this guy, you can't get rid of him.
Yeah, I was really upset about that play call, considering I was just thinking. I mean, just run the QB sneak. I mean, at the very least, kick the field goal because I know a lot of people like you were probably needing them to settle for three there, but it just
Uh,
I hated the call that you're going to go to Trent Irwin on a jet sweep and he just got absolutely blown up. Um, but
Cincinnati's
yeah,
prodigy
it's
son,
good to
Trent
see
Irwin.
Jamar Chase back involved as number one wide receiver though. Even though obviously I have T Higgins who I'm not necessarily worried about, but good for Jamar Chase to get back at it right after the injury.
Raiders win 27-20. They're 5-7. Los Angeles is 6-6. Ooh, I don't even know where to start with Los Angeles, but I will say
Crazy. I mean,
Vegas, Derek Carr, he knows what to do. He
yep.
feeds his man, Devontae Adams, 8 for 177 and 2. The
Yeah.
only other person who had any type of significance was Matt Collins, 5 for 35. And then Josh Jacobs got his 26 carries, 144 yards, and a touchdown. Like I said earlier, wide receiver one, RB1, keep it going. Derek Carr's, I think, a solid play. If you're just streaming based on matchup. Ooh, LA. Um,
So
Keenan Allen
weird.
had a nice day,
It's
but
so
that's
weird though,
it.
this team.
I don't really know what to talk about them. Herbert wasn't
Yeah.
great.
I mean, I would just highlight that any pass catcher that you may have started for Los Angeles, assuming it wasn't DeAndre Carter, you would have been happy
Okay.
with. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Keenan Allen found the end zone, which made him have a good
14
day.
targets.
So to get over 20 points was big, yeah. But 6 catches on 14
Mm.
targets is shocking considering the connection that Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert usually have. Everett and Eckler both had 5 catches, and Josh Palmer had 7 for 60. So that was nice on 11 targets as well. I didn't see this game a whole lot, so it seems like the connection between Herbert and the wide receivers weren't there, considering the amount of targets with limited amount of catches. But
He was getting sacked
overall,
a lot of
still good.
pressure.
Yeah,
Max Crosby and Chandler Jones were getting it. Chandler Jones, I think, got a half a sack on the year, and I think he had 2.5 yesterday.
hmm, gotcha. So that definitely was the difference. I would only assume I didn't see this game a whole lot pop up, except for Devontae Adams touchdowns and Josh Jacobs touchdowns, of course. But strange game. Justin Herbert, very strange, just considering he's still throwing the ball as many times as he has been throughout the season, but just touchdowns haven't really been there for him in the air.
Nope. And final game, Cowboys. They win 54-19. This was a 21-19 game going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was crazy how close the game was until it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, 21 for 82. Didn't score. Alec Pierce did score.
Yeah,
486 with that touchdown. Like I said, Ashton Doolin scored on his lone catch. Bad day for everybody. Michael Pittman, 2 for 16.
yeah. There was no
Oh,
Colt that you were happy with. You were happy with probably every uh every Dallas Cowboy you started except for
Dak.
yeah, Dak. Even
And
though
really,
he had 3 touchdowns, but he only had 170 yards, so I think he only finished with like 18 fantasy points or something like that. Um and Dalton Schultz, the only other guy that you weren't really happy with. Tony Pollard and Zeke both got it done. They both looked good anytime they were getting the ball. And yeah, I mean, just a crazy game. I don't know if I've ever seen a 33-0 fourth quarter in the NFL. It's pretty
it got
shocking.
away. It
Yeah.
looked like a Madden game.
Yeah, it definitely did.
I mean, good God. And I think the Colts would have quit maybe after
Oh, they got
the
21
21st
0'd.
point.
They got 21 0'd in the fourth quarter for sure.
And I think they would have just quit. But they
Yep.
had to keep going. It was just turnover
Yep.
after turnover. Well, anyways, that is the Thursday, or excuse me, Sunday recap. Real quick, let's get into our Thursday preview. Should
Yeah,
be,
run through
pretty
that real
quick.
quick.
It's Rams and Raiders. Real simple. You start the Raiders, who you're
You
gonna
sit the
play,
Rams.
and you sit the Rams. Yeah, I mean
Yep.
you're playing Devontae and you're playing Josh Jacobs, and I don't really know if I really like this Derek Carr matchup, but
Not necessarily, no. I mean,
no.
Gino was able to get it done, but I have a feeling the Raiders are definitely a run first team, even though obviously Devontae Adams always gets his, but the Raiders do seem to be a run first team with Josh Jacobs. So I don't know if I would love Derek Carr in this matchup either. And on a short week, yeah.
Raiders are 6-point favorites over under 44.5. Yeah, I wouldn't want to start a Ram. Maybe Cam Akers if you were really
No.
desperate, because there are six
Yeah,
buys next week.
that's true. We do have a
So
big bye week, which is
if you
so
got to get
weird.
someone, if it's going to be someone, I think it'd be Cam Akers, but you know how that can go. Yeah, I'll ride with the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't really want to. I wouldn't want to put them winning by 6, but I do
Yeah,
think
neither
the
would
Raiders
I.
will win the game. So I'd probably be on the Raiders just to win outright if I had to be on anything.
Oh, there it is. There's the preview, Joe.
Yeah, we do have a Twitter account. We do
No, we
have one of
do.
those. I don't think I posted the last episode actually, so I need a backlog for this one. I'll put this one and the last one on there. It's at EsideFF, capital ESFF. You know the drill. We also, Tessoni will put this out on Apple Podcast as well as YouTube at Eastside Fantasy Football. Shout out once again to the people not in the fantasy league listening, and shout out to you guys in the league, except for Sam Smith. It's like, no, I take that back. Last time I said that, good luck for everybody except for Sam Smith. He texted me, and I felt bad. I love you, Sam.
He is the stat man.
He is.
Joe, have a holly jolly rest of the week.
Thanks, brother.
Till I
You
see
too.
you for our Saturday episode.
Yep, for sure. Have a good week.
Good luck to myself tonight.
Yep. Good luck, everybody. Monday Night Miracles.
Oh, all right. Nick Testoni, Joe Briner. We're out.
See you.